So as we are already halfway through Q3, go into Q4 really strong and set ourselves up for a successful 2025 business marketing and advertising strategy. The question that we're already starting to get and have been getting for the last couple of months is, Adam, what should my marketing budget be in 2025? And so in today's video, we are going to dive deep three main categories of where you should budget from a percentage standpoint going into 2025. If you're watching this video and you don't have a marketing budget right now and you've just been winging it, I'm gonna help you try to get in a position to at least put some pen to paper and start to plan some of that stuff out. And mainly what we're gonna be talking about in this video is for your local home service, contracting, and local business space. Now we'll go and dive into some differentiations in some different markets and stuff with B2B, but primarily for your contractors and home service businesses. If you are planning for 2025, which you absolutely should be already, one of those things is, what am I projecting from a sales standpoint? Once you've been able to project where you're trying to go and what your goals are from an overall revenue and sales standpoint, you can then backtrack your revenue. Let's just say your goal is in 2025 to do $1 million. Based on that, you obviously need to understand where you were at from a revenue standpoint in finishing up here in 2024. So after Q4, you'll have more of that information, but the key thing, and this is where so many people go wrong, is they set their 2025 marketing budget up with the numbers that they did from revenue in 2024, not what their goals are for next year. So as we go through these different categories, you need to make sure that your marketing budget reflects your goals next year, not the revenue you did this past year. I like to break this down into three main categories depending upon where you're at. So if you did 900,000 in 2024 and you're just looking to do $1 million in 2025, you're more in that maintenance aspect category, which we'll dive into. Let's just say you did 500,000 this year and you want to get to $1 million. Well, you're really in growth mode. And let's just say you decide you did 1 million in 2024 and you want to get to 10 million, you're in scale mode. So with larger goals, you're going to need to have a larger budget. So if you're in that maintenance mode, hey, I kind of want to do what I did this year, maybe a little bit more, maybe even sometimes a little bit less. We always know more revenue doesn't always equal more profit, and more revenue usually means more team members, usually means a lot more headaches, a lot more customers, all of that stuff. So I just want to keep that front of mind for you. But if you're in that maintenance mode, you want to be anywhere from 3 to 5% with your marketing budget. That's again going to help you maintain where you've been. And again, especially if you've never had a marketing budget before, you just want to put that pen to paper. Hey, I'm going to set this aside for the entire year because we know some months we're probably going to spend more. Other months, especially in the slower times, we might be spending less. If you're in growth mode, hey, I want to 2-3x my business. I want to grow by X number of revenue, and it's just adding maybe a salesperson or two, but it's really starting to get strategic and drive up our marketing and advertising stuff. Then that's where you're going to be in that 5 to 8%. So 5 to 8% is like what we like to call our growth bucket. So if you're a business spending anywhere right now for that, and you're looking to do that again next year, that's what we would recommend and categorize you as. Now, a lot of people I know are in scale, like they've already hit the growth and they're like, okay, now we're ready to go. We're ready to go from 1 to 5 million, from 1 to 10 million, like crazy numbers. You need to be projecting and budgeting out 8 to 10% of your goal for next year directly related to marketing and advertising. Now, again, we're talking mostly about local service-based contracting home service type companies. Disclaimer here is that there are going to be some industries and some business models where you can get by with much less. And there are going to be some where you have to actually spend more. So like real estate investing in wholesaling. I know people that are spending 15, 20, even 30% of their top line revenue because they have very little overhead, very little employees, and it's a marketing and sales organization. organization, not necessarily an operations or fulfillment heavy business. I also know people that are in the contracting and local service space where they are primarily focused on B2B. And so there's a lot less marketing on social media, on Google with the website and all of that stuff, because it's mostly relationship based, word of mouth, getting contracts and things like that. But what I do preface with all of this stuff is I have obviously a digital marketing and personal branding social media background. I'm not talking about spending anywhere from 3 to 12% on just all of those things. I was at an event a couple of weeks ago talking to a roofing company that just hit $10 million in revenue, and they want to hit 25 next year. And they were taking a look at their marketing and advertising budget this year, and they're like, Adam, we didn't get to 10 million by spending 8%, right? And we were absolutely in growth mode. And what I encouraged him to take a look at is there's so many different ways that people get to that number. They are primarily a sales organization, meaning they have 10 to 15 sales reps that are always out knocking doors. That's a sales organization, not necessarily a strategic marketing organization, right? So if you're a company and you're trying to do that revenue, but you only have a couple of reps, or you as the owner is doing a lot of selling, that's where you're going to have to really turn this up a notch. I also told them is, hey, if you go from 10 to 25 million, yes, you're going to be adding some sales reps, but your sales reps are also going to be like, hey, where are the inbound company leads? I've proven myself. I've done X, Y, and Z. I want to start to get more of those too. So you are going to have to usually spend more, again, even going in that direction. The other thing to take into consideration as well with all of this is literally all the marketing stuff you're doing. And I am a big proponent in offline and online marketing, organic online and paid online. So let's say you have a referral program. Let's say you do direct mail. Let's say a part of a bunch of networking events and organizations and things like that. That all goes into the marketing bucket, because those are dollars that you're associating with growing your business, growing the brand, and getting more leads in. So this budget that you set aside is not just SEO, paid ads, etc., but it's the entirety. If you're paying a marketing agency, they go in that bucket. If you're working with freelancers, if you hire a videographer, if you end up hiring somebody in-house to do marketing, that is inside of that bucket. So those are all things to take into consideration as you're doing it. And I'm not telling you to just go spend money, but what I am telling you is if you don't have a budget set aside, you need to get started there. And from there, if you don't have a budget set aside that reflects the goals that you're trying to do next year based on next year's projections, you are going to struggle. I'm not saying you can't get there. You can absolutely get there, but it's likely going to be a lot harder, a lot more sophisticated, and a lot more complicated from a lead flow standpoint than what you would be doing if you had a dedicated marketing budget. Hopefully by now you understand those three different tiers. You understand the importance of having a marketing bucket. You understand all of the different things, both online and offline, both organic online and paid online, that go into this marketing budget. So I encourage you in Q4 to really dive deep into your numbers, understand where you finished in 2024, where you're trying to go in 2025. Hopefully you know that number, and then put a marketing budget in place. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit the like button on this video. Leave a comment if you have questions about your marketing budget, about where you're at right now and where you're trying to go. Leave those below. And then more importantly, subscribe to our channel. We're producing a ton of amazing content each and every single week, and would love for you to get notified every single time we launch a video. And if you want to share this with somebody that you think might benefit from this, absolutely feel free to do so. And if you're stuck anywhere in your digital marketing and personal branding journey, in the description of this video, you are going to see a link to our free Facebook group, which is Builders of Authority. You can go type that into the search bar on Facebook as well. And we're more than happy to answer any questions, provide daily content, weekly trainings, and much more to help you get to those numbers that you're trying to get to in 2025. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And remember, authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time.